Today is the nicest day.
The best day. It's a great day to be with Kelly Grace May.
Of very nice days, this is the nicest. Because we are seated with literally the 33-year-old version of myself. Cameron Rogers.
Aging me. Yes, hi.
Cameron Rogers, a.k.a. Freckled Foodie, a.k.a. my long-lost cousin, sister, something in another life.
Totally sisters in another life. No questions asked.
Kindred spirits. We just did an hour of your podcast, and we're about to do an hour of mine. Like, literally, I feel not like...
Best day.
Best day. Best day ever.
The fact that we get to do this for work.
Luckiest.
What a bless.
Luckiest girls in the world. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually feeling really good today. It's been a long week. Sicknesses have ran through my household, and like being sick and caring for a sick child at the same time is just like a whole other test.
No.
So this morning was still rough. We're just dealing with some, challenges around certain ages. But then once I got into the city, I've had a really great work day, and like it reminds me of why I love my job and how I feel so blessed and grateful to have both aspects of my life in that way.
One thing that really plagues me, the idea of being a mother, is that I have to get my period and have a
We've talked
child.
about this.
It's really not okay.
No, it's
and
not
like
fair.
what you just said, like being sick and then caring for sick kids.
No. I will never forget when my first was like 1.5. We were still in New York, and we all got hit with a stomach bug at the same time. And I just remember like waking up in the middle of the night. He had thrown up in his crib. Joe and I bring him into the shower. He's throwing up. We're throwing up.
Everyone's
We get
puking.
back in bed. He throws up all over me. And I'm just like, where is my mom?
And where are these people's moms?
Like, I can't.
Totally.
I can't be responsible right now.
No, like I can only fend for myself. It's just,
Yeah, so that was this weekend because we had strep.
you amaze me. And especially days like today, you amaze me, and which we'll get to because I like really need to understand like how the fuck you do everything you do while also being like a wife, a sister, and a mother of 2 children, while also somehow being 15 because you're not 33 or 15.
I am 15. I feel it's very important to say a multitude of things, but whenever anyone brings this up, one, I come from immense privilege, whether it be, my financial upbringing that has allowed me to take on certain things, that has set me up to do certain things, but like that is huge. Two, like my parents and my in-laws are so intensely involved. That financial privilege allows us we have a nanny, and also like my husband fully runs our household, like especially lately where I've really leaned into work. Like he
Like he's
does
CEO of the house.
so much more than I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm really proud of him.
I mean, same.
I feel like not a lot of women can say the same.
he keeps us afloat.
I always can appreciate people like acknowledging positions of privilege. Like it's always going to be like appreciated. But at the same time, when it comes to raising kids, which obviously I'm not a mom yet, we have discussed this in length. I just don't think it's like normal these days how it's viewed like when there's like help as obviously, of course, there's like a financial element to like, when you have a nanny or whatever, like helping you. But like kids used to be, or families used to be, the saying it takes a village
for a good
is a
reason.
real thing.
Well, so I think, yes.
That really used to happen.
But I think I'm so grateful for my village. I talk about my village ad nauseum.
Yeah, so does my sister.
And I think that a village can be many things to many people. It can be familial. Is that a word? Maybe.
Yeah.
Like family. It can be friends. Like I have such a friend village in leaps and
Doesn't
bounds.
your best friend live next door?
She's become one of my very close friends,
Okay.
yes. So like literally, for example, if I need someone for a half hour to like sit in my house because my nanny has to leave and I'm not getting back from my train, she can do that. And like vice versa. It's an open door policy between our houses with our children.
That's so dope.
So dope. It's my dream. I never had it growing up because we didn't live in a community like neighborhood. It's truly, I'm living a dream, and we talk about it all the time. We're like, how blessed are we? But also I have not even my direct, but like other neighbors where I know I have 10 people I could call in my town to be like, I need someone to go pick up my toddler from school because my train is delayed, whatever it might be. So like there's friend village and then there's paid village.
Yeah.
Not everyone has
Paid village.
aspects of their village, but some people need it. Some people have the means for it. Like a village can look so different for everyone, but I do think we've lost the plot in the sense of how important villages are for raising children. Yes, specifically for the mother, for both parents, but also for the kids. It's something I
Yeah.
work through in therapy all the time because I have a lot of FOMO and I want to do everything with my children. I get jealous when people are doing stuff with them. Not guilt.
you.
I get jealous. And my therapist is always reminding me, like, they need to have relationships outside of you.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be their only
That's
person in their life.
true.
So that's
I'm
what I remind
literally like
myself.
freaked out. Like I'm looking into, like I'm seeing like everything that's like about. I'm like, oh my god, so much is about to be unlocked in my brain. Like the second
tell
I
you
become
all
a
about your
mom.
future.
And like, no, I feel like I'm at a psychic right now. That's like that's the closest thing I can use to
Okay.
describe like the
Well,
experience.
what would you
I'm
like
having.
to know?
Separately from like
Yes.
my psychic vision, that is you.
Mm-hmm.
I have been waiting to ask you this.
Oh, yay.
For this moment because it's something about you that I don't know. The Freckled Foodie
Yes.
to Cameron Rogers pipeline.
Yes.
I want to know, when did you start creating content? Like, when did you start being an online presence? And like,
Okay.
how has that evolved? Because like, I know you as Freckled Foodie, like from
Do you?
in the past, like that's like it's like almost like a catchphrase. Like I've seen Freckled Foodie before. You know what I mean?
But
and
do
then
you think that's because of my podcast? Like, did you? I don't think
I feel
you
like
knew me. When
No.
my
I
handle
feel
was
like
Freckled
I've
Foodie.
seen people like sharing like something from
Okay.
Freckled Foodie, like, or
That's
maybe it
hearsay.
also just is
Okay.
so catchy that like I feel like it's
Okay.
in my brain from somewhere. But I just want to know like the pipeline and the
Yeah.
evolution of like your presence on the internet. Like
Okay.
when did it start and how did we get here?
Rewind. I graduated from college in 2013. I started working right out of school in like corporate America. I was in sales and trading, so like completely different job.
Sales and trading,
Yeah, I was
Like,
at JP Morgan.
finance.
Yeah.
That's so hot. You can know
you
stuff about
so
stocks.
much. I didn't do stocks. I did municipal bonds. but
Whatever.
yeah.
It's the same thing. So cool.
Like, so not the same thing. Muni bonds are so not exciting, but whatever.
same.
It was a trading floor, yes, and like it was very fun and exciting and awesome. I was there for 5 years. I really enjoyed my time there. It was great. I had an incredible career path ahead of me. However, along those 5 years, I was dealing with a lot of GI issues and
Oh, I did not know this.
yeah, this is the root of Freckled Foodie. And with that, I started going on these elimination diets with my doctors. And then I was so frustrated because all the ingredients that were in every meal I was eating were on these elimination diets. So I was getting really annoyed every time I was ordering something, having to like go through every single ingredient because it was like down to the garlic and onion.
Yeah, it's like a second job.
No, it was
looking
crazy.
through everything.
So I started cooking. I grew up in a house that loved food, but we were never like a family meal. My dad, I didn't see my dad during the week. He was working in the city. And my mom would just be like corralling myself and my two sisters from soccer practice to lacrosse practice to tutoring. And we would eat like spaghetti meatballs out of Tupperware in the back of her Suburban. She hates when I say that, but like
It's just the truth.
any friend of mine can tell you that
Right.
car was filled with forks and Tupperware
It wasn't
containers
like
from the entire
sit
week.
down
Yes.
dinner, like 5 p.m.
Right.
Everyone's, yeah.
We were never home at 5 p.m. Anyway, I loved food, but I never was like cooking. Like, you know, people are like, oh, I learned how to cook with my mom. Not me.
yeah.
I had moved to New York and I started cooking. And then I also started meal prepping for my job because my job was very intense. I was there originally at like 6:30 in the morning. I'd be at my desk until like 5:36. And so I was eating like breakfast, all of my snacks and my lunch there. And because I was on these elimination diets, I was making all of my meals. So it became this thing that I became really, unfortunately, obsessed with. The intention was positive. I was truly trying to heal myself and figure out what was causing these issues. The impact is that I became a little too obsessed with food and also simultaneously exercise because I'd played sports my whole life. I played lacrosse in college. When I graduated, I was like, wait, what am I supposed to do now?
Wait, you look like a lax girl. This makes sense. Like you're just like a natural beauty, like the freckles. Like this
you
makes
so much.
This checks out.
I would just like kill myself on a treadmill and compete with myself as if I was like a fucking Olympian. Like who cared how fast I was running a mile at 5 a.m. at the Equinox in Grand Central? But I did. And it just became a not great version of myself. But along this journey, I started an Instagram account called Freckled Foodie because it was the birth era of the food porn account and the wellness influencer.
Yep.
So this is 2016.
Like 16. Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. My face was not on the account.
Oh.
You had no idea who I was. I don't even know if my name was on it.
Wait.
I didn't tell anyone for 6 months other than my little sister and my then boyfriend, now husband, Joe.
Is that why you were questioning? You were like, wait, maybe you haven't seen me?
No,
in the
because I
Freckled
was Freckled Foodie
Okay.
for a while. But
Okay.
I feel like we didn't connect until after.
Okay.
So then eventually, like one of my friends found it and was like, "Is this you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Then I started telling people about it. Then it turned into this thing that like I loved, but was such a passion project because my job was very demanding. But I was getting up at 4 a.m. to like write recipes and create content, and then get to the gym. My life was fucking crazy. I can't even connect to that version of myself. But all weekend, I would create meal plans, send out the menus to my friends, take orders, go to the grocery store, get all of the groceries in our apartment, cook all of the meals, and then they would all come pick it up on Sunday. And so it became this like meal prep thing.
Also like a business. I just thought it was like a fun
No, it became
account.
a business. Then on the weekends at the beach, I would set up these like out of my dad's Defender, like a Jeep, but like similar. I would make all of these meals at like 6 a.m. on Sundays, like breakfast. And then I would go to the main street in our beach town that like everyone walks on in the morning. And I would hand out breakfast. Like I wouldn't even sell them. It was like I was handing them out just to like get my name out there.
Community.
Then
Here, you get a breakfast.
I got shut down by the police.
Shut
which
up.
is like such bullshit. And I was excuse me, what about all these lemonade stands? And they're like, ma'am, they're like 6. And I'm like, but I'm not even charging.
Ageist.
But a woman who saw me was like, I own the boutique in town. I have a license to sell food. Come sell on my front porch. So I did breakfast sales. This is like, I can't even connect with this version of my brain.
I'm learning a lot about you right now. Like, this is crazy.
Oh, yeah. I can take you on a full fucking journey.
Yeah, no, we're on a ride.
I'm about to blow your mind.
Please keep going.
So I was selling breakfast there, and I was doing this all while I was still working. I kept thinking, what I always say is it felt like every time I opened one door, there were 10 doors behind it, and I wanted to open them all, and I physically did not have time. Like, I was so intensely burning the candle on both ends. I also had just gotten engaged, so it was like planning a wedding with all of this. It was madness.
3 jobs.
The idea of quitting my job was so overwhelming because A, I wasn't making any money
That was
with
my next
my
question.
account.
Is like, were you making money?
No.
Yeah.
I was maybe breaking even with these breakfast sales. Like, how much money can you make on a overnight oats and like an egg fucking muffin? And I had like ordered, oh my God, I still have it at my parents' house, like this like screen printed huge Freckled Foodie sign of my logo. I was getting like plastic cups from someone there who was in like a plastic resale and like putting my logo on it. Like
Branding.
the fact, I can't even imagine what my parents and my then boyfriend, now husband, were thinking watching me do this. Like, what the fuck is this girl up to? What is she
honestly,
doing?
like,
But I was
it's
determined.
adorable and like admirable.
One thing about me is I'm a fucking hard worker.
No, I can see.
And
that.
I am determined and I will outwork anyone.
Yeah.
I think it's also me chasing or me scared of the ability to sit still. Like I have to fill time, which isn't a great thing. And it's something I've really worked on over the years.
God, you and Morgan are the same.
And so then basically I had so much fear around quitting my job because A, I didn't know how I would make money doing this.
Right.
We didn't know what an influencer was like we do in today's world. And I also had like maybe 3,000 followers. Like there weren't brands lining up to work with me. And my job was such a large part of my ego. Like such a large part. I loved telling people I worked in sales and trading at JP Morgan because
I mean, yeah,
like,
that's a huge flex.
yeah, like a huge flex. And evidently I really seek validation from the generation above us. And they all were like, oh, okay, amazing.
Yeah, clout.
I also made a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
And the golden handcuffs are so real. You know,
So
part of
real.
my salary was also in like, what I won't get
Stock,
into it,
yeah.
but like stock that like
Yeah.
would invest in whatever.
No, that's how they really get you.
They get you.
Yeah.
So, and I also like have to say, I actually really enjoyed my job. I was doing really well. So like there was an incredible trajectory for me.
Yeah.
And I won't overlook that because I'm really proud of my career there.
Yeah.
Then I'd kind of just been like, you know what, this Instagram thing will be a side gig. Maybe
Yeah.
when I have kids, I'll do something fun with it, whatever. I got hit by a car while I was crossing the street. I told you I was going to rock your world. I know this story is like so past.
I'm fucking sad.
This story is like so in my past. It's now March of 2018. March of 2018. I'm walking to yoga class and like so random. I would never go to workouts after work. I always worked out before work. I would never work out on a Friday. I would never go to Brooklyn to work out. But one of my favorite yoga instructors was opening the studio of Sky Ting in Brooklyn. It was her first class and I was like, I will go for you. So I get off the subway. I'm walking in the snow and I'm in like my big Canada Goose jacket. My hood's up. I've got headphones on. Listen, I'm a full fucking jaywalker.
We're in New York.
However, I was actually doing everything right. And this is a big part of my story.
You were following the rules.
I followed every fucking rule. I was on an actual crosswalk. I was not on my phone. and I was looking ahead and I had the walk sign. So like I did everything right in this scenario, but life still was like, bitch, you ain't really in control. So the person who had the parallel green light like came flying down the street and he turned left and just straight up did not see me, and so hit the side of my body. Actually a blessing that I had a hood on and headphones in because I didn't see him, so my body didn't tense and I didn't turn towards the car.
And so you were just like kind of like
I hit on the side. I flew onto his hood and then onto the ground, and I got a really bad concussion. And it was my 6th concussion, and it like really fucked me up.
Yeah.
I went on disability from work, which I thought was maybe going to be a few days. It ended up being 2 months because my neurologist was really set on me not returning until I went without any symptoms for like over a day. And
concussions are no joke.
No.
And people, I think, hear the word concussion and like it's like, oh, like you have a headache. No.
Fucked me up. So I had 5 before this. 1 was really bad. The other 4, not so much. This one, bad.
Yeah.
And it was not at all the same to what you said, but a before and an after moment in my life. We talked about that in my episode, just for reference.
Yeah. No, that's like, I mean, getting hit by a car, even if like you got like a script, like that's like so.
It was traumatic.
That is so startled. Like I'd be like,
yeah. It took
walking
me
around
a
like
long
this.
time to.
Yeah.
There was a large, and it's definitely impacted other aspects of my life where afterwards had a really hard time existing in the outside world because I was so
fight or flight
scared.
Yeah.
More so now, and we'll get into postpartum, I'm sure. It played a huge role in my intrusive thoughts with postpartum anxiety around my son. And that's a whole separate conversation. Anyway, had this concussion. During this disability, I started meditating. I couldn't be on my phone. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't do anything.
It just probably made you like sick.
Awful. So I was meditating. I was journaling, listening to audiobooks and podcasts. And it really just hit me in that moment. Like life is really fucking short. And you cannot control everything. You can control the controllables, and life can still throw a curveball at you. All you can do is control how you react to that curveball. I realized in that moment also that my job was like great for many reasons. However, it heightened many aspects of myself that I didn't love. My overcompetitiveness, my intensity, my fast paced, my go, go, go. Everything must happen right now. If you're not going at my pace, get the fuck out of my way. And that's not how I wanted to live my life.
Yeah.
And it also really heightened my anxiety and depression and so many things. So I sat down and I was like, how could I potentially make this a business? And, you know, I ran so many fucking numbers. I love a spreadsheet.
I need you in my life.
Love a spreadsheet. And I remember sitting down with Joe because we were engaged at the time. So it was a joint decision. And it was like, this is what I think I can do. These are, again, was in such a place of privilege of having a security net of finances of my own from a job I had. But the reason I was able to save money from the job I had is because I come from a privileged financial background. I didn't have student debt to pay off, like whatever. I also have to say, I always knew that I had my parents as a safety net.
Yeah.
I could fuck up and blow it all away, and
Yeah,
I knew
be
they'd
like,
be there
I
to
really
support
need
me.
help.
Yes. I don't
too.
try to live my life in that way.
No.
But I always know you have to acknowledge that that's there. So I had a conversation with Joe, and he was always like, if you were someone who sat on the couch all day long and I had to pull you out to go do things, I don't think this would be a good idea. But I watch you hustle your fucking ass off, and I believe in you. So do it. So I really ran the numbers of like, what would my overhead be? What could I potentially make? What's in my savings? What's my like my monthly spend? How many months can I go without making any money? How much money am I willing to invest in this? And
you ran all the numbers.
Yeah. I mean,
how old were you at this point?
27.
Okay.
Nope. 26.
Okay.
And I remember vividly going out to drinks, but I wasn't drinking because of my post-concussion, but somewhere with my dad, and being like, I want to quit my job, and explaining it to him and showing him everything I had done because I wanted their blessing at the end of the day, obviously.
Yeah.
They were very apprehensive. My mom more so than my dad.
Of course.
And I think it brought up a lot in my mom of like her own stuff because she was an investment banker and she left when I was 3, she left to run our household and our lives and be the CEO of our home. But there was always this like regret that she didn't get a certain promotion. And so she was worried I was going to have that. I have none of it. I don't fucking care. I didn't at the time. I still don't. But now they're like my biggest supporters. Anyway, I go back to my job and I am there for like a week knowing that I'm going to leave. And I sit my boss down and I'm like, I need to tell you something. And he immediately thought I was going to a competitor. And I was like, I'm going to go do this like fun thing on Instagram. Thought I was fucking crazy. Like crazy.
No,
Still have nightmares about this conversation and him.
Same experience.
And yeah, that was April of 2018. No, May of 2018. I then like got married. So sorry, this is such a fucking long story. When I left,
this is unpacking so much of what I want to know, and also arising like more. Now I have more.
Okay,
questions.
when I left, again, I didn't have any brand work. I wasn't making any money on social media. I had also been in school to become a health coach at IIN.
Okay.
So I basically made this deck of myself and my services, and it was like, I can health coach, I can meal prep, I can clean out your kitchen, I can grocery shop with you, you know, really like leaning into that like health and wellness vibe, which
and like all these services
I don't feel connected to anymore, but I did deeply then. And I sent it to everyone I know, and I was like, here's a draft email explaining who I am, what I'm doing, forward it to anyone you know. And that was how I started. And so for 6 months, I was cooking in people's homes, I was meal prepping, I was health coaching, I was doing Instagram content and blog content. And then I was like, I want to get back to your reaction after I tell the story.
I'm shooketh. I've
because
never been
I
so
have
quiet.
responses to your reaction.
Yeah.
Then 6 months in, I realized like I don't want to be in people's homes and be like client services in that manner. There was no way to really scale the business because I didn't want to build a team doing said thing. So I decided to fully focus on content. And that was, I guess, like 2019. At this point, I had shared myself. I'd started talking about mental health. That really like built my community. COVID hit. TikTok existed. I think for me, my community and my online presence has been such a slow and steady growth, and I'm so grateful for that. I have never wanted overnight success on these apps. I think that's terrifying, quite honestly.
Terrifying.
I really enjoy that people have been with me for so many iterations of my life, whether they've left and come back, whether they've left, that's fine, whether they're new. But there were some pivotal moments along the way. It was like, you know, when I started talking about my mental health, okay, that's a whole new thing. Then TikTok starts. Then I did this executive assistant thing with my mom, and like that got a new community that some have left since then because it was like a lot of Florida Republican. And then I like spoke very openly about certain things, and they were
What
like,
do you mean executive assistant thing with your
"You
mom?
don't know this?
No.
Okay, this makes me so happy. Wait, can I circle back to that?
100% because we can't finish a thought.
Then it was when I got pregnant, I was like, what the fuck is happening to my body? So I started a series, what the fuck is happening to my body? That brought in a new community. My postpartum brought in a new community. So there have been like little things, pockets of growth. And I started my show 6 years ago in my apartment. Yeah.
6 years of your podcast.
I'm pretty positive. We're on episode 272, I think, right now.
Oh my God.
I think we've missed like a few weeks. So I can't do that math.
No,
I could. 52,
I don't even need you to do the exact numbers. Like
56.
I know you can, but like.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my journey, and here we are. I changed the name of my handle maybe a year and a half ago.
Thank you.
That's why I was like, I'm surprised you would know me as Freckled Foodie because I don't think we followed each other then.
No, I just think because I wasn't a social media, like, I didn't have like a presence before. I was just a regular degular, you know?
Regular degular.
I mean, I still am.
Right.
But like your face is so recognizable to me. And so I think I have seen you before, like associated when it was Freckled Foodie. Also, my cousin Jessie like loves you and is like, a ride or die follower of yours for years.
Wow.
She's the one that I sent you like. She sent like a text about you. Yeah, she loves you.
But I also switched the name of my show to Conversations with Cam very recently. So that's why you probably also know Freckled Foodie.
And before it was
Freckled Foodie and Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am feeling
that's my story.
The most informed that I've ever felt. I don't even know where to start because like obviously you know how I feel about you. I am so impressed by you always, but I'm even more impressed by you now knowing all of this other information. And it just validates everything that I thought of you, which, like you said yourself, like if you want to do anything, you actually can do it. Like you will.
We all can.
I know, but some people have a different animal of work ethic.
I've got a crazy beast inside me, but I think that's sports.
Okay, and that's like one thing I wanted to touch on. Like and I talk about this all the time with Andy and with his sister Sarah because they grew up and they were both D1 college athletes, swimmers. Like she swam at UVA, he swam at Boston College.
Like a swimmer.
He's a fucking fish. And also,
oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think when you are like, your identity is so heavily associated with being an athlete.
Yeah.
And like there's this innate competitiveness to you.
And you want to be the best.
You want to be the best, but at the same time, the second your life is not structured around sports and competing and practice and like milestones and times and whatever, you get like a little frazzled. You're like,
why do you think Andy does triathlons?
No, I know he's addicted to it. Like we unpack this all the time. I'm like, you can't just do nothing. And I have to accept that it's more comfortable for him to be like training for something and have like goals, a marathon coach and like a structure, whatever. And clearly like it proves to be true. Like I feel like this translates to your work life in a positive way, but also in the past maybe like was a vice.
Yeah. I think it's twofold. It's whether you're controlling the beast or the beast is controlling you. I think to the note of feeling so lost and confused and who am I and missing that piece of your identity is so real. Yeah. I played D1 lacrosse and Joe played basketball in college, D3. But
Where'd you go to college? Why?
Sorry, I hate that I just said D3 like it's a diss. Like, but no, like, I just want to clarify.
No, like it's different, but he still played. He still played.
So, like his team was really good.
No, and like he still had practice
and
all
he's
the time.
Amazing.
And he had to show up.
But like Joe will always say, like, I'm a fucking 6'2" white guy. Of course I didn't play D1 basketball. Like, please. I went to Lafayette.
Okay.
It's the smallest D1 school.
No, I'm just like, I just didn't. I need to know all of the
Pennsylvania. I have not left the tri-state area.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm a ride or die Jersey. But also I think we connect so well.
It's literally a point on my notes. It just says Jersey. Jersey, baby.
No, like that's why we connect, obviously.
No, we're like literally.
All this to say, like that end of your sports career, and I brought him up because when his ended, we were still in college because of basketball. And that's like when we broke up because it was just like, wait, what is happening? We're going to graduate. What is my life? Who am I? So like we were broken up from the end of his season to graduation.
This is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
Because you told me.
Wait, I'm so sorry, but do you want me to explain executive assistant?
Oh, immediately.
Okay. So the reason I appreciate your response, and I'm surprised you don't know, is because there was this not segment, but basically what happened was TikTok existed and started during COVID, to my knowledge. I know it existed before, but whatever. I was like fucking around on the app, treating it like my Instagram stories, which are very like no filter,
laissez-faire,
FaceTime, exactly. And we were supposed to go on a family trip to Brazil for a wedding on March 13th. We called it off 2 days before, 2020.
Right.
Because I was like, guys, we cannot go out of the country. And my mom was like, well, you all have your vacation days for like corporate America, to everyone else in my life, not me. Why don't you come to Florida where we are? If there's a lockdown, you'll just stay here for the 2 weeks. And we're like, sweet. Get on a plane on March 13th, land, lockdown, everything. We're there what we thought was going to be 2 weeks. Half of us are there for 70 days. So when the 2 weeks ended, I said to my mom, what are you going to do now? Because everyone has to go back to work. Like everyone's vacation days are over. Yeah. It was me, Joe, and Lucy that ended up staying there. Maddie and her husband like went back home, and Lucy's boyfriend was technically an essential worker, so he had to come back. So it was the three of us and my parents. And I'm like, Mom, everyone's going back to work now. Like, are you going to be our executive assistant? Joking. My mom is so outrageous and diva and ridiculous and
I've seen
extra
her and I need to meet her.
That she took it so far and seriously. And like I remember the first day, and I filmed it for my Instagram stories, and I was like, oh, I'll just throw this on TikTok. She like brought a bell and like was like coffee break for everyone, and like brought a coffee to everyone, and then was like lunch will be served in the cafeteria at like 12:30.
Like literally Chessie from Parent Trap.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what? Yes. And it blew up. Like back then, 1 million views was like, what? So I actually had, it was like a point of contention a little bit for me internally, because my TikTok got more followers in like a month, or literally like probably a month, than I had worked on for Instagram for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? And then all these people started following me for that. And I was like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but like, that's not my typical content.
That's just like a random bit.
That's not what my page is. I don't live with my mom.
Yeah.
So like, when I moved
This
back,
is not my niche.
not my niche, not even my self content, because eventually it got a little performative, like acting.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not me. And then it got to my mom's head, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Got to your mom's head. I'm
of course
done.
it did. And
She's a star.
then it was just like, no. Also, I don't live with her. So like
Right.
post moving back,
Yeah.
people would be like, where's your executive assistant? And I'm like, guys, this isn't.
It's just a phase.
That's not my page.
Yeah.
Back off.
Right.
And so I got really annoyed with people
Take a
because
joke.
I was like, that's not what like,
This is.
yeah. Anyway.
Oh my God. Wait. I need to like go back and find some
I'll
of these
send you
videos
some.
because I don't know if you know this. A fun fact about me that is extremely
Fun fact
random
about me.
is I was not on TikTok, like even as a consumer, a scroller,
yeah.
until 2022.
Wow. Why?
I just never got it. Like I just thought it was just dancing videos. Like
Well,
I didn't
it
have it.
kind of
Like,
was in the beginning.
like my friends, like during COVID, would like send me something and like I would open it and then
Yeah.
like, but I didn't have like a TikTok. Like I
Right.
wasn't scrolling on TikTok. I was like Instagram loyal. So I like missed out on a lot of early day like
Right.
things that happened on the talk.
yeah.
But I'm gonna go back into the archives.
I'll send it to
like
you.
ASAP. But I want to unpack something that you shared earlier
Yes.
that I did not know, which is that you met your husband
Yeah.
and have been together since you were 16.
Yes.
And I actually realized that I like don't know a ton about like the evolution of you two together.
Yeah.
16 and you're married.
Baby.
That's
Baby.
crazy.
I know. It is crazy. It's
Unheard
really
of.
crazy. Well, my parents are high school sweethearts, so it's not as crazy to me. Because
No,
I grew
that's-
up
well,
with it.
Okay, that's still crazy.
Um,
Even more crazy that you're like a second generation high
yeah.
school sweetheart
Although I do
situation.
think that's kind of common.
Is
But who
it?
knows? It's our relationship is very kismet universe. Like this is too weird
Mhm.
because how do I explain this? Okay, my parents are high school sweethearts.
Uh-huh.
They grew up like mainline Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Okay, the high school that they went to, Joe's dad and all of his siblings went to. So they were friends. Joe's dad is older by like maybe 10 years their senior. Yeah. They were friends with his youngest brother. He's the oldest of 5.
Yeah.
And they were friends with the youngest of his family. So like my mom has thrown up off of the balcony of Joe's
uncle?
grandmother's house.
Oh,
no,
oh.
grandma.
Oh.
Like Joe's dad's mom's house. They lived
Oh
above
my
a
God.
bar, I think. Yeah. Weird shit. So that was when they were in high school in Pennsylvania. My parents moved to New York. They have us. Then they choose Princeton, New Jersey randomly. Okay. So they move out, and I guess my mom must have connected these dots because she knew about this. But at our elementary school, we went to elementary school together.
Yeah.
He was a grade older than me, so like we didn't know each other. And our siblings were in the same grade, our older siblings, and like our moms were in the PTA together. So like they knew each other, but we did not exist in each other's worlds, Joe and I. But we obviously know so many of the same people. Like my best friend from middle school and high school's backyard, like kind of lined up with his. So like he was in her driveway all the time playing basketball with her dad. Like
This
our-
is so like
so
Jersey
kismet.
small town vibes.
No,
I'm,
his
like,
dad
obsessed.
is literally like my grandpa in a different life. Like it's so weird. Anyway, he's in the public school. I'm in the private school. He ends up transferring to the private school for basketball to like try and get recruited. Repeats his junior year. Now we're in the same grade. We meet the like few weeks before he transfers. We meet and then we start hanging out at school. There's like more to that, but I'll just like leave it at that. We start hanging out at school as friends. I want to be very clear. My mom and my sister always give me shit, but like we were friends first.
Uh-huh.
Then we
I
started like
trust you.
really hanging out.
Yeah.
Then we hook up. Then we start dating. Yeah. So
But,
like
Did you
Okay, sorry,
stay
after
together
that? No, okay,
all
sorry,
of
sorry.
college? Like, because how do you? I'm like, how
okay.
do people grow up
Sorry.
together through these many phases?
well,
of
you know
life?
what it is? It's been such a gift because we have seen so many iterations of each other.
Yes,
some that we
it's
love, some that we
beautiful.
hate. And what I always say, why I'm so proud of our relationship and why I feel so confident in where we are is that we've allowed each other the ability to grow on parallel tracks. So like when we went off to school, we went to separate schools. He went to school in Iowa. I was in Pennsylvania. And we were very much like, we want to stay together, but everyone's like, oh, you need to go on a break if you're going to do this. Like, experience college. I actually like disagree, but whatever. So all throughout college in general, we were never like, go do your thing.
Yeah.
We were together,
Yeah.
I want to get that clear. But we weren't like staying home from parties to FaceTime.
Right.
We were living life and
Yeah.
partying and doing our sports. I think the fact that we both played a sport is the only reason that it worked.
Yeah.
Because one of us wasn't missing each other more. We
Right.
didn't have time to miss each other.
Yeah.
Like, love you, but I didn't have time to miss you. And he didn't have time to miss me. Also, we went to school so far away. There was no resentment of not visiting each other because it wasn't even on the table.
It wasn't even possible. And then sports.
With sports,
Yeah.
we had games on Saturday.
Yeah.
What am I gonna fly?
You're not free.
I did go once for 24 hours. Like, you couldn't. It's
Yeah.
not like if you went to a school 3 hours away, it'd be like, oh, come on, can you come visit me? Like
Yeah.
vice versa. None of it. So I think that was such a gift. We both like really respect each other's independence and our lives. Like our social lives are so important to us, both separately and combined. So like there was never holding back. I never felt like we couldn't do something because
Yeah.
we had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. We ended up going on a break one semester sophomore year, but it was so fake. It was like, you know, you don't have sex with other people. We're still gonna talk. We talked all the fucking time. It was like
It was a fake break.
fake break.
Yeah.
Got back together, whatever. But then, as I mentioned, senior year, he had his like, what the fuck is my life moment.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the need to be apart, but I also like wanted to respect his wishes, didn't want him to have regrets, and was like, fine. Was all of that perfect? Fuck no. I wasn't drinking for like that first month because we were in the last month of our season and too many girls on my team had gone to the hospital that we had to make like a no alcohol rule for the last month.
Like a policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was honestly kind of happy about it because I was the sole captain. So I had to go to the hospital anytime anyone was in the hospital. And I was like, guys, I can't.
I so see you as the captain. Like before you even told me you were the captain, I knew you were the fucking captain.
And then I had exactly a month from my last game to graduation. And I was like, let's fucking go.
That is so beautiful.
And then it was
rare.
really hard to get back together. I have to say that.
Oh, okay. Because like you're trying to.
Well, there was like always the rule that we weren't going to ask each other what happened. And then
Yeah, that's
some
tough.
people didn't stick to the rule of asking. And then shit comes up. And then, you know, it brings
to
up a
resolve
lot.
that,
You have to
yes.
resolve it. There's a lot of emotions involved. There's a lot of, I get it. On
And you're
his,
young.
You're so young.
Emotional.
You don't know anything better. You think that this is the end of the fucking
World.
world that someone slept with someone.
Yep.
It's not.
No.
And also to give him credit, like when I moved to New York and he did as well, like we were so immersed in my college community because everyone from my school
Was
moved
here.
to New York. So like, yeah, that would have sucked for him
Yeah.
to like be around all of it. And like, I get it. Now I'm like, we were fucking kids, but I thought my life was like
Over.
ending and
Yeah.
over. And I'm so glad we worked through that because I think it really gave us this moment of like, oh, we can go through hard things. Obviously, we've gone through much harder things since then. But yeah.
I am like amazed because that is so rare and special to grow through that many seasons of life together. And like you said,
So many
you've
seasons.
you've seen sides of each other that like you've loved, you've hated, like,
Yeah.
but you've stuck together. A lot of people just aren't able to do that. And I feel like you've always been wise beyond your years. Like you're wise beyond your years
Thanks.
now, but like even just you describing your behavior and his behavior, I haven't met
Yeah.
him, but like that's like a very evolved, mature way to have
Yes.
behaved and not letting your emotions get the best of you.
I will never forget an email he wrote me.
An email.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wish I actually want to go back and find it.
You must.
And it was when we were like not together after graduation and deciding if we were going to get back
Right.
together. And it was very hazy. There were so many fights. There were so many ugly things said.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm finally at a point in my life or a point of these feelings where I will be okay without you. And that's really important for me because I don't want to get back together with you just because I feel like we have to. And like we won't be able to exist without each other. We need to get back together because we want to get back together with each other. And that's so true.
It is the most true thing I've ever heard.
So
Like,
true.
I actually feel like my breath has been taken away. Like that is the most real thing that sounds on the surface unsexy.
But like,
No, like on this, like, you know, in movies,
Yeah.
I can't live without
Oh,
you.
well,
Like,
that's not
but, like,
real.
shut the fuck up. Like, I want to be able to
Yeah.
choose someone
totally.
because I want them and they enrich my life and they like make me
Yeah.
better, not because I feel like I literally cannot like
Right.
live without them. Like
That's toxic.
that's
I also think
yeah.
that we have helped each other grow so much. We have done ugly things that we're not proud of to each other. And like, and others. Like I've
No, we're
done
human.
awful shit.
Human.
And I think at the end of the day, we were actually just talking about this. I said, what do you think the greatest phase of your life has been for you? Like what era of your life? And I really believe what I think we all hope for is that the current era we're living in is the best version of ourselves. You know, like obviously I always want to continue to grow and evolve. And like I'm big on self-help to like a little bit of a detriment. But I always want to be proud of where I am and know that I'm like on an upward trajectory. And I feel like being with someone for so long where we've seen so many iterations of each other, where again, we love some, we hate some, we're not proud of some, we're really proud of others. The work that we've done together and independently has gotten us to a place where I'm like so proud of you as a person. I'm so proud of me as a person. And like, you know, no one's fucking perfect, but like at the end of the day, we're good people and we're proud of ourselves.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
And when you said like the upward trajectory thing, like, and also just like acknowledging like what phase of life you're in, like, I feel like I've been like going like up and just like getting better and like feeling really good about where I'm at. And like actually recently in the last like couple months, I've noticed like, you actually like have some work to do. Like you thought like you had like done the work, and now I'm like, oh, like I have to go. I thought it was fixed, and I'm like, oh, I have to like unpack a whole other.
Fixed.
I know.
Also, like
I know.
I will never say just wait because I fucking hate that. But the truest test for me was children.
No,
and continues to be every day.
I know it's coming, and again, this is to continue like our from your episode. Like, I think the thing that scares me the most about children is that I know it's going to break me the fuck down, and then
you pick yourself back up.
build me back up, and I'm gonna be like, I know like part of my life's purpose, it sounds so fucking cheesy, is to like be a mother. Same. Also, a psychic told me that, who literally told me a bunch of other crazy shit that ended up coming true. And
I have a psychic,
and she was like, you're gonna have 3 kids, and I was like, no, I'm only having 2. I don't want to be outnumbered. And she was like, no, you're literally gonna have as many as you
my
can.
Psychic said I'm having a daughter next, my 3rd.
I see that for you.
We'll see
if you want it. If you want it,
I want a 3rd. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want a boy or a girl, and I can't control it. So why does it even matter?
Would you ever do a surprise?
That's what I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I want to be chill and do that, but like I don't think I can physically.
We knew for a first because my husband was like, "No, I can't," and then we did surprise for my 2nd, and then I don't know what we would do. I would like to do a surprise, but I think there's so much weighing on that 3rd that like, here's what it is. A lot of people ask me about gender disappointment because I have 2 boys. I will never resonate, and I don't think anyone does. I think it's a misuse of the word. I will never be disappointed, no matter what, because I have a healthy child, okay? I feel no disappointment. I fucking love my 2 boys. I don't love, like, boy mom. I'm a mom of boys, and I love having boys. But I would have to grieve the vision I have of having a daughter.
Right.
I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be so excited because I think having boys is so fun. But I would have to grieve this, like,
idea that you've had.
Image I've always had of my future with a daughter.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean? It's just like a reality.
The thing with the surprise is I don't know if I would need to like work through that
it might heighten
before or if it would help real time where it's like,
no, I totally see.
But then if I have a girl, I'm like so stressed about the fact that she wouldn't have a sister. Again, why do I work myself up over this?
I
because it's not even happening.
I understand, like, because literally, like, you are Morgan, and like I'm talking to like Morgan right now, like it's kind of scaring me. But that's like, I was nervous actually that because she did a surprise for her 3rd, and
I didn't know Cameron was her 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, so what does she have?
Girl, boy, girl.
So fun. Okay.
And legitimately, everyone thought it was a boy. It was like, I didn't even question it because like, what the fuck do I know about like pregnancy?
Well, I thought my 2nd was a girl.
Like yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, so it's a boy. Like we're not getting our hopes up. Even she was like, it's a boy, and then it was a girl. And honestly, thank God, because she would have had a 4th to give.
I know it's
a sister.
When you have a sister, like I can't imagine not having one.
No, I know. And I can't believe you have 2 sisters.
I know, it's so fun.
Oh my God, that's so insane to me.
I know.
And like everyone like. Imagine,
when
you're growing up, you kill each other, but now everyone's simpatico.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we have our shit. Every family does. But yeah.
It's amazing.
I know. It's such a blessing.
I have a selfish question.
Ask.
You being like an online presence.
Yeah.
and this is selfish because like I'm new here. Like I'm new here in like creating and like putting
Yes.
my life out there, and unfortunately like I just literally do not know how to shut the fuck up.
Neither do I. Yeah.
And
but you're like doing such a great job. So like,
thank you so much. But like
way to go.
I don't know what the line is
boundaries.
sometimes of what is too much. And like Andy, for example, like he doesn't have TikTok or like he has an Instagram, but he goes on it on the browser like once a week. So I'm curious, like with your evolution of like being like a public figure of sorts, like does Joe, like what is Joe's vibe around it? Like do you guys have boundaries or things that you like talk about behind the scenes? Like this is literally selfish advice for me.
No, of course.
And
Okay.
like what is his sentiment?
So,
And is he online?
not online.
Okay.
Has never been on social media.
Love.
He
It's for the girls, honestly.
It's for the girls.
Like, leave
if a
us
guy
alone.
is posting Instagram stories,
No, like leave
I'm
us
so sorry.
Leave us alone.
Yeah, no, he's never been on social media, and therefore I think it almost helps because he doesn't consume my social media.
Yeah.
However, he gets sent a lot of it from friends
Yeah.
sometimes. So like I know that. Okay, here's what it is. In the beginning, I treated it like I truly was on FaceTime, and I forgot that people were consuming it.
That's
and
me.
I think that like I still can tap into that in certain aspects of my life,
Yeah.
like the way that I talk about certain things. I still act like no one's consuming it,
I know, me too.
but I'm more mindful now of protecting the people in my life. Because I think for me, it was this moment of like, I put it all out there and it was just like, woohoo, who
Free for all.
cares?
Let it all hang out.
And then like some of it was like thrown against me or used against me or like certain things I really didn't like. And I was like, wait a fucking second.
yeah.
And I am the most loyal human. And if you come for someone I love, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, same.
And so that, for me, there were few moments where I was like, and wall, and wall, and wall. I mean, that's why I have walls around my children. And that became a time period, I don't know when this was, maybe 2 years ago, pre-kids, where I started setting more boundaries. And my rule of thumb now is that, like, I will share all of my shit, but, like, the people in my life's shit, no one else's business. Because they didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think we talked about this, I think we were offline, the idea of being misunderstood.
Yeah.
And that's something I've just like had to come to terms with because people will create their own stories about anything. You know, like people will create these stories about my older sister, for instance, that like Lucy and I aren't close with her and like I never see her. But the reality is she's a very private person. And so like I'm not posting when I'm with her.
Right.
Like, you know, or like we're with my parents and not my in-laws. My in-laws didn't sign up to be online.
Totally.
I'm not sharing about them.
Totally.
You know, like I remember there was something where someone messaged me accidentally of like, see, her big sister's not ever, like, not even there. And I was like, she's fucking here.
I love the accidental DMs. Because
Literally
I'm
nothing
like,
makes me happier because
I'm like,
that's so
I
embarrassing
am
for
so
you.
confrontational. I'm like, perfect. You put yourself in a position to go to war with me. Done.
No, but it's also so embarrassing for them that like no matter what I want.
No, mortifying. Mortifying. But you're so right.
But I'm like, but you guys are seeing literally the only thing
Glimpse.
through that lens.
Yeah.
You never have the full picture. And I mean this in the nicest way. Like, I remind my friends of this all the time when we're consuming other people's content.
It's not
and they're
real.
talking about stuff. I'm like, guys, we have no fucking idea what's happening.
Yeah.
No idea.
And they're not like characters. Like they're people.
They're people. So, yes, it's been big around family members, certain relationships, certain things that like I might have once shared about people I love. I'm like, no, that doesn't need to be on the internet. It's been a big thing for me. And around things with Joe, if there are ever things where I'm like, would he care if I say this? I'll ask him.
Yeah.
There definitely have been moments of that, of like, hey, I want to share this. It's my journey, but like kind of includes you.
Yeah.
And like he just appreciates the heads up and the conversation. And also like I use him as a more like a sounding board of like, you know, does this even make sense for
To
me
share.
to go into for my personal journey and like growth? And then with my kids, I just live on this belief that like anything I share online, they will one day see. Do I think that they're going to go back and watch all my shit? I mean, that'd be so boring for them. So no. But I also want to always like protect that, you know, like even little things. I see these people like posting all these videos of like their kids being potty trained, and I'm like, what the
Fuck are you doing?
why is this on the internet?
No, like this does not belong here. Like
Yeah.
stop it. Cut it out right now.
So
Not to mom shame anyone, but like I just feel like
no, but like in protection of the children, there are certain things that like just shouldn't be on the internet.
I completely agree. I completely agree. That was really helpful. And it's something I'm like,
You can always text. You can always voice at me what you want to share, and we can talk about it. Because I think some things. I think we're both. I said this to you. Like we like to put it all out there. That's how I've always been.
it's
that
just
way.
it's
My
both of our nature.
I walk
like,
into a room, I'll tell you fucking anything. And I think that's part of our magic and part of what bites us in the ass.
Totally, it's a double-edged sword, and like it's something I still struggle with, and like there's a learning curve. I'm trying to like give myself grace because
Of course there is.
like I just am putting it all out there right now because like you said in the beginning, you were kind of like, blah, blah, blah. That's like kind of the phase that I'm in, but I'm at the end of it where I'm starting to like realize things and wanting to like protect not only other people but like parts of myself.
Totally. We deserve to have things
we do
that
but
are kept to ourselves.
we do, but like I have to like remind myself.
No, I know, but I think that'll come with time.
Like it's just my big mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and also when it comes to Andy, like he is a very private person. Like when I had like a small following, like I used to like make him do like his little like outfit of the day videos and stuff, and like now we're just like at a place where he's like, I will come on your podcast, like because that's like long form whatever, and like your real ones are there for a reason, but like I don't need to be like I'm not like I'm not like he's not participating.
I also it's not his page. That's how I feel.
Totally,
this is my page.
And also like it's not even that he was like I don't want to be on there. I was just like, oh, I like this is not like I need to.
I even felt that way when one of my videos of my mom, like I posted a video recently of like making fun of her because she was asking if she could wear a wedding gown when we were trying on dresses for Lucy to Lucy's wedding. She was like, "Can I wear this?"
I love her.
And like it went viral, whatever. But then some people are like, "Oh my God, what a fucking like mean things." And I'm like, back
the fuck off. Yeah.
Back the fuck off.
That's my fucking mom.
I'm like, I can make fun of her.
No.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your
quiet your
mouth.
lips.
Yep. Shut your whore mouth.
So I took down the video because I'm like, I'm not fighting with these people. But yeah, like that's just an example where I'm like, I put myself out there. I don't need to put these other people out there. They're not even choosing to.
Yeah. But it's an interesting, like, I feel like behind closed doors conversation that I never really see people talk about is like, what are the like boundaries, like, especially when you have a significant other who's literally not online.
Yeah, we had a really instance that I didn't love where like I was on another podcast and I said like after kids we're having the best sex of our lives, which like I would say anywhere.
Oh, I think you told me this.
And it got picked up in like some weird thing, like whatever, and it just like
a headline.
Yeah, and I was like, I hate that.
And like made it look like it was something that it wasn't.
Well, it's just like that. Why? Yeah.
Why do that to me?
Why?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's tough out here.
I like boundaries.
I'm working on them. So thank you for sharing this with me. I also want to touch on something you said because you said that you choose to not share your kids.
Oh yeah.
Online.
I don't share their faces or their names.
Like
that. They're there.
Yeah.
Like obviously I have children and like there are going to be times where I'm filming something real time, making dinner, and my kids behind the camera like asking me questions. So like they exist in my content. I'm not going to act like they don't.
Yeah.
And like the back of their body sometimes in like a photo or video because like I'm with them all the fucking time. But I don't. Yeah, I want to protect them. That's a boundary.
No, I love that. How did you like come to that decision? Because I feel like it's something that people struggle with.
That was a conversation with Joe in the beginning where, again, he's a more private person. So I was like, I'll respect your privacy. I also never wanted my page to be like kid facing, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I wanted them to have the choice.
Yeah.
Whether they want these things recorded and shared and filmed. I have many, many thoughts. I'm freaked out by people on the internet, quite honestly.
Because people are dangerous.
There was a moment where I was at a park in the city and I saw these kids and I was like, oh my God, I know them. And I was like, no, I don't know them. That's an influencer's child. And I never want someone to feel that way about my kid.
It was like an aha moment.
Yeah. And so I knew from the beginning that I didn't really want to share them. Like I would sparingly post my first son. And I had this other moment where like a New York City daycare that we didn't even go to that like is very like millennial trendy vibe took one of my photos and put it on their feed.
No.
And I was like, literally absolutely not. And that day I scrubbed every image of him from like there were maybe 5 Yeah, and I call them by like fake names. I've shared their name when they were born.
I actually just realized, like,
do you even know their names?
No, I do.
Well, yeah,
because like
we text.
but because they do exist in your like, it doesn't feel like you're like, not ever like sharing.
Because they're not a secret. They're
but
part of my
like,
life.
I just
love
dropped
them.
off my toddler.
I say that a lot.
Yes.
I have code names for them, but I almost now feel weird calling them their code names. Okay, the reason the code name started truly is because people started messaging me and commenting on my content in such a kind, loving way.
Yeah.
But using my kids' names. And I can't explain it, but it made me feel really uncomfortable because I was like,
it's like a parasocial
you guys
relationship.
don't know.
With
Yeah, you're having a parasocial relationship
kid.
with my kid, and you don't actually know them, and I don't love.
And they definitely don't know you.
Totally. And they were saying it in a way of like they'd send me
Of
like
course.
Cars pajamas and be like, I know your first would love this with his name. And I'm like, you're right. And I feel weird that you know that and you're using his name. So I just said on the internet, like, can we please stop using my kids' names? I'm going to stop referencing them by their names. Whatever. They have code names, but I really just say my first or my toddler or my second or my baby.
I love that because I like literally, as you were explaining it to me, I was putting together in my head because like it doesn't feel like, oh, she doesn't share her kids, you know?
It's just like that. That's my boundary that I feel.
But you do it in
with.
a way that's very like specific and intentional.
Yeah.
Like we still feel like we know what's going on in your life, but like I don't like know what I'm not going to see them on the street and be like, hey.
Right. And a bonus of this that I didn't expect that is so great is that when I'm enjoying these moments with them, I never feel like, oh, I have to get this content for work. Yeah. I actually love putting my phone up, and I think any mom should do this, whether you're a content creator or not. It's my favorite type of home videos because like I make a video at the end of every year for them. But like I just put my phone up and like we just go about our lives like playing or doing something. And it's when I catch my toddler saying the cutest things because he doesn't know. It's not like there's no tripod. I literally just put it up against the wall. And it's like I catch him doing something so funny or like we're being silly or playing or he's like loving on someone like it's my favorite style of home video.
Like he's literally like the phone is literally a fly on the wall.
Absolutely. And so I feel like my mind, sure, sometimes I do that for our home videos, but I'm never doing it with being like, oh, wait, this would be so good for work. Do that again. Mm-hmm. You know, my mind isn't at work when I'm enjoying them. I'm just enjoying them.
Yeah. Like
which
you're just
is a gift
in your real life.
Because otherwise I would be being like, oh, how do I create content around this? Because that's what we do.
Right.
The other thing is not to be like holier than thou, but I do remind myself sometimes and like I'm proud of myself. The way that my kids could make fucking millions on the internet. Literal millions.
Oh, no.
My toddler, well, yes, they're so cute, but I don't even mean that. Like my toddler is the most
funny
like theatrical, funny, remembering everything. Like he would put on a goddamn
and you know what?
show.
If he wants to one day, he will.
Yeah, we're putting him in theater camp because I'm like, this is where you belong.
Wait, do you need a recommendation? Because I have one.
I found one.
Okay, great.
But
Sleepaway?
No. He's literally 3.
Oh, so I literally I went when I was in what, like 4th grade? I was like, bye.
4th grade is not 3. He's not even in kindergarten
this
yet.
This is why I legitimately cannot become a mom.
4th grade is like 10.
How old are you? Into 4th? Okay,
I was 11 in 5th grade.
Math is hard, and like I'm too young to have a baby.
Okay. Well,
this is my life.
Anyway, I am constantly like, I hope they don't hate me because their bank account could be rolling in the dough, but I choose my morals over that.
They will once they fully have like a full scope of understanding of
I think they'll be happy.
The intentional choice that you made, which a lot of people choose to go a different route, and like it makes them a lot feels but you chose to protect like and give them a choice.
I think what it is keeping that work. It keeps it feels like it's a step towards keeping my work separate from my life. Yeah. Because I don't know how family vloggers ever feel like they're enjoying family time.
No, it's something I think about all the time, especially like with like obviously I'm not a mom, but like with Andy being offline, like you
get to just enjoy your time with your partner. It's never content.
And my friends, like none of my friends are influencers. And like sometimes I get sad. I'm like, guys, let's make a TikTok. And they're like, what are you talking about?
That's how all of my friends are.
But
mine is literally one.
But when I'm with my friends and when I'm with Andy, like I don't want to be on my phone because I don't want to be that annoying influencer who has to take a shot. Oh my God, sorry, move your hand out of the pasta. No. I have to get the shot. Like I don't want to be that. I think
that's another way we resonate in the sense.
And stay normal.
Yeah. There's literally 3 creators in my life. I'll
Wait,
make you
I can
fifth.
name one who, by the way,
I'll
I
make
just
you
have
my
to like
fifth.
go on a separate tangent. Like Emily DiDonato.
She's one of my best friends. Yeah, she was the one that I see.
No, they say don't meet your heroes. Wrong. Because that woman is so normal and so
She's literally the most
so
humble, normal human in the world.
So silly, goofy. Like,
she's no idea how
sweet.
beautiful she is.
I just have to tell you a story, and maybe we can cut this out
Yeah.
if you think that she
Tell
won't
me.
like it. I saw her in Miami, like literally 3 weeks, no, not even, 2 weeks after the event where I met her with
I didn't
you.
know this. At Taylor?
I saw her at a restaurant in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. I turn around. Someone at the table I'm with goes, oh my God, that's Emily DiDonato. And I go, oh my God, I gotta go say hi. Bye. Yeah. I literally walk up to her. She's with Kate.
Yeah.
And another Victoria's Secret model, like these, just a table full of models.
Yeah.
And they all probably like were like thought I was like being like just like an annoying like fangirl, but, like also because I was. But like I went up to her and like said hi, and she was just so normal and like
She's
remembered
truly
who
the
I
best.
was, and she is a normal human being, and like I love to see it. Like someone who is so beautiful and so
humble,
like, humble,
so normal.
Oh,
she's
God.
the greatest.
So you are who you surround yourself with, and like you got good people around.
Well,
you.
I will say, like, my people, I will die for my girlfriends. And, like, I have such an extended group of close friends because they mean everything to me. And, like, I cherish my friendships so intensely.
Yeah.
And, like, I will always value them and prioritize them.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel so blessed that I have such a group from my childhood, from like lacrosse, from college, from real world, as I call it, like so many people in my life that I love that have nothing to fucking do with my job. And that is so important for me. It's what keeps me true to myself. It's what keeps me like showing up to work. If my work was so involved in my personal life, that would be so confusing because it already is. But like if it fully took over, I don't know when my brain would ever shut off. But then there are amazing people, you know, like Emily is the one that I go think of the most because I talk to her the most and I see her the most, but also like Carissa Stanton, Olivia Nocita. I love them to death. There are some amazing people, Megan Roop, but like they don't live in New York, so I don't see them really.
Yeah. It's nice to have people that like can relate to like what you're doing
Because
on your day to day.
yeah, it's the same way when we're
like,
texting about. Yeah,
I'm starting to like make those relationships, like you, for example.
Yeah.
And it's so nice, but like our core.
but
like,
it's not who I'm going to spend all my time.
No,
with.
and it brings us down to reality. And I literally could talk to you for 700 hours. Like we've
fine,
already
we're
been
good.
talking for 2 hours. I have 2 last questions for you. One, it's so cliche, but I just want to hear it from you. What
Tell
is
me.
your favorite part about being a mom? Or maybe not being, just motherhood.
Yeah. How
Get me
much
excited.
fun it is. Like my family has so much fun. It's truly something that I love so much about us, and I'm so proud of us. Like Joe and I talk about it a lot. Like fun is such a priority. Whether we're like having dance parties in the kitchen every day, we just installed Sonos, and like it's changed our lives because it was always like on our phone, and we're like, okay, this would be so much more fun if it was louder. That is just so fun. Like we're very silly. My family's very silly.
Playful.
Joe's hilarious, so playful, like very joyful, silly, fun, and our toddler therefore is so silly because
They pick up on the vibes.
They pick up on the vibes, but also like we've extended this space for him to be that way, and it's so much fun when we're having fun, and also it's this feeling of purpose that like I didn't know I was seeking. Which is selfish, but yeah.
But you weren't even seeking. It just stumbled upon you.
No, I
It's like a
didn't
pleasant
know
surprise.
that I needed it.
Yeah.
Or I didn't know that I was missing it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That made me really excited. Thank you. That was
That's
also a selfish
literally
question.
so much fun.
And this is a question I got in the
Oh, yeah?
Instagram DMs, so we can like leave on this note. But like, what would you say to your 25-year-old self?
25.
And I know you've
Okay.
probably been asked this a million times, so you're probably like locked and loaded with an answer.
Actually not.
Okay,
I gotta
fine,
go back
then.
to when I was 25. No, I mean for me it's always like it's really not that fucking serious. I used to think things were like end of the world, so serious. I still ruminate, I still spiral, I still get
course.
worked up. And like I'm sure in 10 years I'll look back on these moments and be like, bitch, it's not that
Oh my
serious.
God, it's so
but
not.
especially in my 20s, like I don't know what I was so worked up about. And this isn't to say that life without children is not demanding or intense or hard,
Of course.
whatever. But since having kids, it's created a perspective. Like Joe and I remember like when we just had our first, he spent the day and night at my parents' house, and we looked at each other and we were like, what did we used to do with our time? And like, why were we so worked up? And I hate how that might be perceived to someone who doesn't have kids or who's choosing, not, to have kids. Let me tell you, I'm the number one supporter of people choosing not to have kids.
Yeah. No, same.
My girlfriends and I talk about this all the time.
Totally
I have been ride or die since the beginning. I will never tell you that you need to have children.
I respect the fuck out of you.
And I respect you. I'm not, maybe a part of me is even jealous that like, I always knew I wanted kids. So like, I'm so happy, but like I
almost like wish I did.
Some part of me wonders like, what would my life be if like there wasn't so much time and resources and money and just like thought that goes towards someone else? Like, what would I accomplish? What would my life look like? You know, a romanticized version. And I'm happy with the decision I made. However, I know that people don't want children and I love that for them. Yeah. And I will forever champion that decision. So I'm not saying that, but for me, it gave me a perspective of like that thing. And I think everyone has this perspective with age. Yeah. That thing that I was so worked up about really wasn't a big deal.
Like, it was literally no big deal.
It was a sorority fight. Why are we still talking about it?
Like, yeah. I love that. It is really just not that serious.
Just be nicer to yourself and like everyone around you and like heal yourself and you'll stop being mean to other people.
Yeah, because if you don't heal what hurt you, you'll bleed on those who didn't cut you.
Oh my God, I've never heard that. What are you, a fucking shaman?
Kind of.
Is a shaman the right word? No.
I don't know, but I just pulled that out.
I think shaman's like someone who leads you in like a drug
ceremony.
My
favorite quote that a grief specialist shared with me was, the trauma is not your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. And it's kind of like a different variation of the, if you don't heal what hurt you, you'll bleed on those who didn't cut you.
I really love both of those, and I'm going to need you to text them to me because as soon as I leave this, I won't remember.
And by text, I mean voice note. I will send them to you.
Nope, I need that in writing.
I love you. We have been talking for 2 hours. Get on the train.
So much longer than 2 hours.
Get back. Go back to Jersey.
Love you.
I love you.